this money up. Made a couple G's on my way to make another one. I gotta feed my pockets. Bag a bitch you stalking. Ain't no time for talking, bitch. That money keep on calling. I'm just vibing, riding clean. Vibing, riding clean. Vibing, riding clean. On my grind to get this money up. Vibing, riding clean. Vibing, riding clean. Vibing, riding clean. On my grind to get this money up. Yeah, living a dream. I'm getting this money. I'm counting this green.
Yeah, Barack did his thing
on numerous occasions.
On numerous occasions. So.
Like I said, I'm not really one for everything that every president has done. I feel like the rapport that man created with other countries around the world, they looked at him with respect. They looked at our country with respect. They didn't laugh at him. They didn't mock him. They didn't do anything of these, of that nature.
Right.
It was so much more. Okay, yeah. I could have a conversation with that man, and he's gonna take me seriously and not just be like waiting for you to shut up. I feel like me going to sit down with Donald Trump, he's like too good for having the conversation with me. Right. He's got places to be. He's got things to do.
Right. Shout out to all the people that was able to go to the White House to see Barack and Michelle.
It's just, and like I said, now our president is. I feel like, when have we ever seen a president before be on Twitter as much as he is?
Yeah.
Why hasn't somebody taken that phone?
Well, they need to do something, because
he's like I said, I feel like a lot of the things that we get ourselves into, people aren't looking at the facts. It's like literally like we took somebody's uncle and put him in office. I don't understand where that came from, but right. I'm like, if that's what makes sense to somebody, then apparently it made sense to 60 some odd million people.
Nigga got money and power.
Yeah, it's a whole nother subject.
It's a brand and shit.
Whole nother subject.
But yeah, man, we, like I said, we don't want to get too deep into the politics. I had to ask. I asked everybody, and since we got rid of that conversation, I mean, bottom line, show love. It don't matter your political views. It don't matter your race. It don't matter where you're from. It don't matter the color of your skin. It don't matter. Everybody sins differently. Like,
absolutely,
just show love, bro. Like, fuck all that shit.
We all fighting some sort of demon.
We all fighting because we all gonna die at the end. You feel me? So fuck all that shit. But man, like, I'm loving your background. We went over why you fell in love with the music. Now you're a DJ and a producer. Like, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Like, what are your dreams and ambitions? Like, where are you trying to take this shit, man?
Honestly, I feel like when I first started out, it was all about trying to be the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like that's what everybody's there for. I just trying to be the biggest thing.
Right.
And I feel like as I've gotten older and kind of more humble about my situation and honestly about my goals and what I really want out of life, is just more or less to make a living doing this for the rest of my life. It's not, I don't want to have to work for somebody else. Like, I want to make my own hours. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I don't want to have to take a day off or call in for, my kid having to be picked up from school or whatever. I just want to be able to make those moves when I need to make them with no questions asked. Nobody asking me, well, when are you going to be back? Or no, it's like, I got to go.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like we prioritize work too much and family second.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where we need to make a switch. We got to prioritize our family first and then put work second.
Right.
Like,
that's the only way it's going to flow.
Like, but I feel like that responsibility is real.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
But at the same time, there's other ways to handle our responsibilities than the way that we've been taught. So it's just more or less, I feel like starting my own business. Me and one of my best friends, DJ Dynamo, he's literally like an older brother to me, and him and I finally started our own business as N&D Productions, Nigh7mare and Dynamo Productions. And we DJ weddings, birthdays, private parties, corporate events. So I'm like, that was pretty much the start of me not having to work for anybody else, just being able to work for myself, do what I want to do, call my own shots.
Independent grind.
You know what I mean? It's just, and there's a different sense of independence. Like there's you feel into a certain sense of independence when you work for somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But when you have to call that somebody for a day off, and you have to consistently let somebody know, it's like having a babysitter.
Exactly.
And I feel like when you finally can get from that point and learn to take a passion. I'm not saying don't work a 9 to 5.
Right.
My thing is, if you're working a 9 to 5, also when you come home, instead of sitting down and watching TV, just spend an hour. Just spend the first hour of when you get home, or the last hour. Read a book. Doesn't matter what it's about.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what it's about. Just read a book, because then it gets your mind working in other ways. So I feel like you come home, read a book, or listen to a podcast, anything that you're interested in. For me, it was always like relationships, because R&B is such a huge part of my life that I want to learn more about writing about emotions and how to explain or express my emotions verbally.
Exactly.
And so you can do it lyrically. So it's become more, music is taking on a different life for me almost every day, because it's like I DJ, yes, I produce, yes, but it's also I'm coming up with concepts, hooks, writing things. I haven't really gotten out there to being on the mic yet. I've done a couple things for a couple of the homies. Louis G, shout out.
Yeah, who else you produce for?
Recently, I've been kind of staying to myself, but I feel like
shout out Louis G, the Don.
Yeah, shout out Louis, because that's honestly somebody that really lightweight.
Yeah.
He pushed me harder than any person on my music, than anybody. When we first linked up, he would just come over, we would smoke and just chop it up and politic, and he would just teach me little things. And he would see what I picked up, because after a while, he finally told me, like, like, your beats are dope, bro, but they're not there yet. Like, I'm not hopping on anything that I don't feel is up to this level. So that's knowing that
Louis G got bars, by the way.
Man, it's like, well, and it's not even just the stuff that he writes, because I'm like, most times he don't really write
neither.
I've seen it. Like, he just comes off the top, and it's like, bro, like, the stuff that he's able to put together, it inspires me to want to make better beats, so that he does his thing and we can collaborate with my shit. And then it's like, okay, now I can sit back and listen to, man, like, we did that. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's more about that creative moment. It's not necessarily just the beat making or the composition. It's also like the moment of being linked in with somebody mentally on a vibe, writing a song. Like me, I produce over for another one of my homies out from the 925 is Highway Foe. Foe and I got two or three singles that we just haven't put out yet, but like they're ready. We're just haven't really picked a date and time yet. But one of them's called Let You Know.
Yeah.
And
Let You Know.
It's more like a R&B type of beat, but he's rapping. But I finally kind of got him out of his element. Like, this is part of the production that makes you different from a beat maker.
Right.
Is your ability to coach somebody through vocals or coach somebody through the music.
Exactly.
So, like,
there's a difference.
There's I know what your cadence is supposed to be like, and you need to cut a word or add a word, change little things.
Do it all over.
Exactly. Like, you gotta have somebody be there to be like, hey, this isn't really working right now. Like, we gotta make it work. And it's the person that's gonna spend the most time in the freaking lab besides the engineer. The engineer is gonna listen to the same clap for 6 hours trying to perfect it so that your music sounds right. So respect the engineer.
Respect the artist, respect the engineer. Shout out Highway Foe.
Shout out Will Gennaro.
Will Gennaro.
Over at Shop Studios.
Shop Studios. Shout out Will. What up, Will? Barz, Twan Beasy, a.k.a. Bandana Beasy. My nigga Nightmare on the beat. Man, so, man, it was good getting your bio and, you know, getting your perspective on politics. And now it's time to get these niggas some of your shit. Like, let them hear something. You feel me? Like, that was a good conversation. Now we want to hear the work. We want to hear the beats, the slaps.
Yeah, it's good.
Car bars, you feel me? Then we gonna go into a little. Normally we do a car bars battle, but I got a producer, so he gonna play his beats. Shit, I might even gas something. You feel me? But it's about my nigga, man. Car bars, episode 4. My nigga Nightmare on the beat. My nigga rolling fingers. Nightmare on the beat. So this is more the R&B feel.
Yeah, or like a lightweight, like hip-hop-ish, vibey type of track. I don't really want it to be like somebody really rapping hard or nothing. But I feel like it's a vibe track.
Yeah, I like that. Smoking woods. Car Bars, episode 4. Featuring my nigga Nightmare.
Yes, sir.
Follow him, man. Nightmare. Nightmare music. Yeah. This shit wavy. Yeah, this shit wavy. I'm all about my chicken out with a gravy. My niggas got guns like the Navy. I'ma shock you, I'ma tase you. Man, my flow is amazing. Yeah. I'm rapping on a Nightmare beat. If you ain't talking money, nigga, don't need to speak. Shit. Ooh, switch up.
A little bit of a hook.
Little bit of a hook. You shook. Smooth.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man. That was the Car Bars battle segment. But I got a producer, so he plays this shit. And there was one more thing we gotta do for you bounce though. I gotta ask you, who is your top 5? Oof. I usually ask rappers who's your top 5 GOATs, but you're a producer, so I wanna, this segment, I'm gonna ask the producers who their top 5 producers are. Sheesh. Car Bars.
So, I feel like my 2 biggest influences, especially like growing up on both coasts, Timbaland and Dre. Dr. Dre. Gotta put those 2 probably first and foremost.
Shout out to Dre, shout out to Timbo.
Yeah, please shout them out. A lot of different types of music that I listen to. I feel like Tech Nine is one of my favorite artists to listen to. I've been a fan of his music since I can remember. I've had everything from Celsius to now.
Shout out to Tech Nine.
I feel like he started working with a producer named 7, but he goes by 7, but he's Michael 7 Summers. Guys, production is insane.
So that's 3?
Yeah.
That's place. 2 more. Top 5. Car Bars.
That's honestly just like
producers.
It's a hard one on the spot, I'll tell you that. I never thought about that on producer level like that. That's a great question.
Ooh, I know. Let's go.
On the R&B, I gotta go with somebody like Brian Michael Cox.
Wow.
Because
Whoa.
Because of the fact that
Nah, that's a good one.
But I feel like it's his composition with chords and keys is just.
I
It's
never heard that.
It's uncanny.
Nobody. I
that's
swear to
that's
God.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian Michael Cox.
Shout out to B, bro. Brian Michael Cox, for real.
And then, let me see. I feel like I have to.
One more?
Absolutely have to go with Jay Dilla. Jay Dilla. Jay Dilla. Like that's somebody's sound that you could try as hard as you want to replicate. It's not happening, bro.
Jay Dilla, bro.
Not happening.
And that's a good. That says a lot when you just said I asked you on the spot.
Yeah, I feel like
that's
something I would have to even try to even comb through.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like that's something. That's a question. I even have to even put that out on my own. Like that's.
Right.
That was good.
Man, that's
solid.
a good ass top five.
That's
man.
solid.
You feel me? So this is my nigga Nightmare's top 5 produced. You heard his style of producing, and you know who was his mentors. You know, we got to know my man. I want to thank you for coming on Car Bars.
I appreciate you for having me.
Is there anything you want to say to your fans or tell the people before we get out of here?
I mean, I just appreciate you guys. See me?
We can cut that out.
Honestly, it's more or less
yeah, like,
thanks for listening.
right.
Thanks for tuning in. I support anybody that supports me. Like if you look at my Instagram, it shows like I only got like 1,800 followers or something like that, but I follow like 6,500 people or something like that. Like I just support who follows me, and if I happen to like your stuff, I'm just scrolling through liking stuff. So
Right.
Just like a normal human being should.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I gotta shout out Sly Peso, HTS.
Shout out.
I gotta shout out 7 Boutique. I gotta shout out Makashi NT, Dubs, Big D. Bro, there's so many people out on the East that are like young JR's really putting in right now.
Do they have Instagrams?
Yeah, like man, there's so many of them, but I'll try to send them to you.
Yeah,
so
we'll tag them. We'll tag y'all.
I'm gonna have you guys following some real hard hitters when it comes to music. They're just
let's do it, baby.
Man,
Car Bars, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what this is about. Networking.
Exactly. There's so
Platforms.
much money to be made, so let's just make this music.
Right. I don't have that many followers neither, but
let's put this
shit,
ego aside
this
and let's get this work done.
I'm just trying to contribute to the culture on this one. I swear to God, like God woke me up and I did this shit basically. And this shit is, man, it don't get no better than this on Car Bars, man.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Yo Camp, and you feel me? Thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate you.
Car Bars, man, episode 4. If you want to be on Car Bars, DM me, man. Slots is closing, man.
Quick.